Привет, друзья! Я снова с вами, рада видеть каждого из вас на своем канале. Мы продолжаем с вами курс B2, и у нас сегодня разговорная часть. Мы открываем следующий, третий юнит, то есть третью уже секцию. Друзья мои, конечно, как всегда, мы начинаем с новых слов, поэтому предлагаю сейчас запастись блокнотиками и ручками и разберем все слова с переводом. Warrior – воин, TP – wigwam, palette – палитра, exhibition – выставка, masterpiece – шедевр, sketch – набросок, genius – гений, thoroughly spoiled – полностью испорчен, triangle – треугольник, square – квадрат, mistress – любовница, to be honored – быть удостоенным честью, to apologize – извиняться, heart failure – сердечный приступ, outdoor life – жизнь за пределами дома, to be fascinated by – быть безумно увлеченным, poor eyesight – плохое зрение, to be wounded – быть раненым, futility of war – тщетность, бесполезность войны, to suffer from depression – страдать от депрессии, to commit suicide – совершить самоубийство, to be awarded – быть награжденным, to regret – сожалеть. Сейчас я прочитаю эту часть, только английскую версию. Проверьте, пожалуйста, как оно произносится. Warrior, TP, palette, exhibition, masterpiece, sketch, genius, thoroughly spoiled, triangle, square, mistress, to be honored, to apologize, heart failure, outdoor life, to be fascinated by, poor eyesight, to be wounded, futility of war, to suffer from depression, to commit suicide, to be awarded, to regret. Умнички, переходим на вторую часть, разберем сначала с переводом. Obsession – одержимость. Adult – взрослый. To skip – пропустить. Old-fashioned – старомодный. Disgusting – отвратительный. To rescue – спасать. To tempt – искушать, соблазнять. To tap on the shoulder – постучать по плечу. To crash into a tree – врезаться в дерево. Own safety – собственная безопасность. To pull out – вытягивать. To fail exams – проваливать экзамены. Deafness – глухота. Blindness – слепота. A severe illness – сильная болезнь. To be caused – быть вызванным. To receive terrible shock – получить сильнейший шок. To stand in a queue – стоять в очереди. To burst into – разразиться слезами или смехом. To yawn – зевать. Теперь только английскую версию. Obsession, adult, to skip, old-fashioned, disgusting, to rescue, to tempt, to tap on the shoulder, to crash into a tree, own safety, to pull out, to fail exams, deafness, blindness, a severe illness, to be caused, to receive terrible shock, to stand in a queue, to burst into, to yawn. Okay, guys, so you should write down all those words into your notebook and please learn them by heart, because during the several following units, lessons, which we're gonna meet here on the video, we will use all of them step by step, but anyway, you should know them very well. Okay, so write down them all and practice every day. Okay, guys, so let's start. And first task is about grammar. So now we have three ideas, three sentences. From the first sight, it seems like they are similar or they are absolutely the same, but they all have different meanings. And that's why we use here in every sentence we use different tense. So now we should read and explain why exactly this tense is used exactly in this situation. Okay, So explain the meaning of these sentences due to used tenses. The first one, when Carol arrived home, Mark cooked dinner. Stop the video, take your time, think why we use here exactly these tenses. So by the way, which tense we use? We use past simple in the first part and in the second part as well. So in both parts we use only past simple. Why? Yes, guys, you are right. So because the action went on in the past at the same moment or one by one. So looking at this sentence, we can say that when Carol arrived home, after that Mark started cooking dinner. So when the action happened one by one, step by step, we use only like historical facts, like in the past we use the past simple. When Carol arrived home, Mark cooked dinner. So we do not have any jumps here, any processes, yes, or any pre-past tense. No, so everything happened one by one. Number 2, when Carol arrived home, Mark was cooking dinner. Stop the video, think, try to explain, and then come back to me. Yes, guys, that's right. So when Carol arrived home at that point from the past, right at that moment, so she came and saw, like at that moment, Mark was cooking dinner. So he began cooking before she came. He was cooking at that moment, and he hasn't finished yet. Yes, so we can say that right during the process, while Mark was cooking dinner, Carol arrived, if we paraphrase it. Okay, so at that moment, so she interrupted the process. Okay, so she burst into the room while he was doing something. That's why we have here two different tenses, two different actions actually in the past. So the first one was just a fact, it's past simple, and the second one was in the process. So that's why we used here past continuous tense. Okay, and the last one, when Carol arrived home, Mark had cooked dinner. Take your time and think, then come back. Okay, so looking at this sentence, I can conclude that at that moment when Carol only came home, Mark already was sitting and waiting for her with ready dinner. So he did this right before she came. So that's why we have like pre-past tense. That's why we use here past perfect tense. So the dinner was ready before Carol arrived home. That's why we want to circle out this, yes, to underline that had happened before Carol arrived home. That's why we use in the first part, we use simple, like past simple. And in the second part, we use here past perfect tense. Okay, good, guys. So now let's open the topic for discussion. That's not about fairy tale, it's about folk stories. If we speak about what does it mean, folk means that it's stories very similar to fairy tales, but they were created by people, not by some author, by people. And mostly such stories are very educative. So they mean something. They were created for prevent a young person from doing something bad or something wrong, or they try to teach someone to do exactly in this way. So we know the circumstance, the situation, and consequences of it, and knowing and handing down from father to son, such stories from our ancestors, we still know how to act in exact situations, in definite situations. So we have these like educative stories. And every people from the ancient times have and very value such stories. Yes, and they are really handed down from father to son. Yes, our children know the stories which our great grandfathers and great grandmothers knew and told their children. So here we have a folk story as an example of a Native American people. So the tale of Glooskap and the baby. Look at the pictures first of all, and let me explain you what is going on here and what we are going to listen about. So this is a story of a Glooskap. He was a warrior and he was fearless, absolutely. So fearless means that he didn't have any fears. So he was very brave. Maybe he won a lot of battles. He won a lot of fightings. Yes, and that's why he feels very confident, and even he can boast to someone. That means like when you tell something, oh, how good am I, look at me, oh, listen, how many things have I done, just I'm the best, you see, don't you believe me? So that means like not just to tell some stories about your past, like some historical facts, like biographical facts. No, that means boast. So look at me, I'm the best ever. So he could boast to anyone, exactly here to his girlfriend or just woman friend. So how good was he? And no one could beat him. No one could conquer him. So, and she wanted to, she was hesitating about this information, and she told, no, I know someone who really can beat you. So, okay, so this, and that's probably could be a baby, just simple, humble, regular baby. So, very interesting story. So, please be attentive and listen to it, because after that I will ask you some questions. Come on.
Unit 3. Tape script 3.1. The Tale of Glooskap and the Baby.
Glooskap the warrior was very pleased with himself because he had fought and won so many battles. He boasted to a woman friend, "Nobody can beat me." "Really?" said the woman. "I know someone who can beat you. His name is Wasis." Glooskap had never heard of Wasis. He immediately wanted to meet him and fight him. So he was taken to the woman's village. The woman pointed to a baby who was sitting and sucking a piece of sugar on the floor of a teepee. "There," she said, "that is Wasis. He is little, but he is very strong." Glooskap laughed and went up to the baby. "I am Glooskap. Fight me!" he shouted. Little Wasis looked at him for a moment. Then he opened his mouth. "Wah! Wah!" he screamed. Glooskap had never heard such a terrible noise. He danced a war dance and sang some war songs. Wasis screamed louder. "Wah! Wah! Wah!" Glooskap covered his ears and ran out of the teepee. After he had run a few miles, he stopped and listened. The baby was still screaming. Glooskap the fearless was terrified. He ran on and was never seen again in the woman's village.
Tape script.
Okay, guys. So that is the story about fearless Glooskap, the greatest warrior, and the simple baby who finally beat him, of course, and conquered him with only his scream, unbearable scream, of course, and very annoying, I'm sure. Okay, so guys, I have some questions to you before we start reading this text and of course translating, because we need some special words from here to build your personal vocabulary. Well guys, so tell me please, who was Glooskap? Stop the video every time and answer. Take as much time as you need just to answer my question completely, okay? So, who was this Glooskap? Good, okay. So tell me, who did he boast to? And did the woman believe him? Okay, where did she put him? Where did she take him? Okay, where was this baby sitting? What was the first reaction of Glooskap? Okay, which dance did he act? Did he dance? What was the reaction of the baby? Okay. Why did Glooskap run away from the village? Okay, that's right. And now tell me please, what do you think? No, let's read first of all, okay? Let's read. But before we read, do we have the second one? No, only one, only this part. So actually, before we do this, I give you the task. Here in this text, we have some gaps which you should complete. And we have the parts of missed parts right above. Yes, A, B, C, D, E, F. So stop the video and first of all try to put inside of these gaps all these missed parts and then come back to me for reading. Okay guys, finished. Very good. Okay, so let's check and let's read at once and read and translate at once. All the actions are at once at the same moment. Well, Glooskap, the warrior, was very pleased with himself because he had fought and won so many battles. Glooskap, воин, был очень доволен собой. To be very pleased with myself. So, I'm very pleased of myself. Я довольна собой. Или, ты, наверное, очень доволен собой, не так ли? You are very pleased with yourself, aren't you? Потому что он выиграл, потому что он подрался и выиграл так много битв. Ребят, здесь мы говорим с вами в past perfect, потому что действие было до того, как мы поняли, что он был доволен собой. В предпрошедшем идет past perfect. He boasted to a woman friend, "Nobody can beat me." "Really," said the woman, "I know someone who can beat you. His name is Wasis." Окей. Он хвастался. Обратите внимание на предлог. Boast to. Он хвастался женщине, другу, своей подруге, что никто не может меня побить. Действительно, сказала женщина, я знаю кое-кого, кто может побить тебя. Его зовут Васис. Glooskap had never heard of Wasis. He immediately wanted to meet him and fight him, so he was taken to the woman's village. Итак, Glooskap никогда не слышал о Васисе. Значит, получается, что здесь также идет past perfect, потому что речь шла о том, что вот он хвастался, это все было в past simple, но до того он ни разу не слышал про Васиса. Соответственно, мы говорим здесь past perfect снова. Он никогда не слышал о Васисе, и он в тот же час захотел встретиться с ним и побить его, подраться с ним. Поэтому его отвели в деревню женщины, то есть он был отведен. Take me – это отведи меня, забери меня. Да, то есть получается здесь идет в пассиве. Он был забран в деревню к женщине. The woman pointed to the baby who was sitting and sucking a piece of sugar on the floor of a teepee. Женщина показала, указала, point to, указывать на что-то. Женщина указала на ребенка, который сидел и сосал кусочек сахара на полу вигвама. Здесь у нас идет сочетание времен. Значит, женщина показала на ребенка, который в процессе сидел и в процессе сосал кусочек сахара. There, she said, that is Wasis. He's little, but he's very strong. Glooskap laughed and went up to the baby. I'm Glooskap, fight me, he shouted. Little Wasis looked at him for a moment, then he opened his mouth. Wah, he screamed. Вон, сказала она. Вот то Васис. Он маленький, но он очень сильный. Glooskap засмеялся и подошел к ребенку. Go up to или come up to – это подойти к кому-то. Я Glooskap, дерись со мной, заорал он. Маленький Васис посмотрел на него на какое-то время и затем открыл свой рот и начал орать. Ва-ва. Glooskap had never heard such a terrible noise. He danced a war dance and sang some war songs, but Вася screamed louder. Ва-ва-ва. Итак, ребят, Глюскап никогда прежде не слышал такого ужасного шума, такого звука ужасного. Он станцевал военный танец и спел некоторые военные песни войны, видимо, призывающие к войне. Вася засмеялся громче, заорал громче, ва-ва-ва. Glooskap covered his ears and ran out of the teepee. After he had run a few miles, he stopped and listened. The baby was still screaming. Glooskap the fearless was terrified. He ran on and was never seen again in the woman's village. Итак, Глюскап закрыл свои уши. Закрыть уши – это накрыть уши. Cover. He covered his ears and ran out of. И выбежал из вигвама. Теперь внимание, здесь используем past perfect. После того, как он пробежал несколько миль, он остановился и послушал. И ребенок все еще в процессе продолжал плакать. Глюскап бесстрашный был в ужасе, was terrified. Он продолжил бежать, ran on, он продолжил бежать. И никогда больше его не видели в деревне женщины. Здесь идет в пассиве, he was never seen, его больше никогда не видели. Okay, guys, so finished this, and now I have some questions to you. Did you like this story, guys? Stop the video every time. What is the moral of this story, you think, huh? Yes, moral of this story maybe that the strength and your experience is nothing against clear scream sometimes, so something annoying. Even the strongest people can run away from something which he or she is annoyed by. Yes, sometimes. Or never boast to anyone. That can be a moral story. Maybe you have your own moral of the story. So I ask you, please write down it in the comments. So that will be very interesting for me to find out what you think about this story. Okay. The next question are there many popular folk tales in your country? Yes, guys, so we have a lot of actually folk stories, but nowadays and day by day, now in future, maybe they will disappear completely, unfortunately, because nowadays it's not so popular just to watch old movies or to read old fairy tales. So we are influenced by some modern stories, and maybe that's right, and maybe that's correct. I don't dispute. You know, like old stories are very good, but modern stories are not worse than the previous ones. Because nowadays in modern stories, maybe they are more appropriate for young people, and they are more understandable because the action usually happens among the same contemporaries as it is watched by, and that's why maybe it's easy for us and easier for new generation just to watch modern stories, but maybe the plots of such stories are almost the same, but the situation, the people are different, but the plot and the moral of such stories, they are mostly the same as our folk stories. Yeah. Tell some of them. Can you really imagine which stories do you know, folk stories, among folk stories? Okay, guys, good. So now let's change the task and next. You can see the woman who is sitting in the armchair she's on board of the plane. Maybe she is flying somewhere. Yes, she looks very beautiful but busy. Yes, and right now at this moment she is very occupied with some tasks, maybe business tasks. And we can see her schedule. Not actually scheduled for every day, but what she did yesterday. We can see time, every time we see the time when she did something. For example, at 6:30 she got up. But here we have the period of time from 6:45 to 7:15. Packed her suitcase. Again, next period. Drove to the airport, flew to Glasgow, had a meeting, had lunch, visited .com Enterprises, wrote a report on the plane, put the baby to bed, relaxed and listened to music. So we have period when she probably she was doing something. Of course, you should use past continuous tense. So she was in the process of doing this exactly, a point from the schedule in the period of from this to this. But if we take the period from packed her suitcase from a quarter to 7 and a 7:15. Yes, she packed her suitcase. So what was she doing at 7 a.m.? She was packing her suitcase. And this you should do every time. Okay? The time you see right below me, here, where we have in yellow color 7 a.m., 1:30 a.m., p.m., 8 a.m., 3 p.m., 10 a.m., 6 p.m., and so on. And you have the schedule, and you have all those periods. So the question every time is, what was she doing at exactly 7 a.m.? She was packing her suitcase, and so on, okay? So please stop the video and work yourself, and then come back to me, and we will listen and check yourself. Good, guys, so let's listen.
3.3. 1.
What was she doing at 7 o'clock yesterday morning?
She was packing her suitcase.
2.
What was she doing at 8 o'clock?
She was driving to the airport.
3.
What was she doing at 10 o'clock?
She was flying to Glasgow.
4.
What was she doing at 11:30?
She was having a meeting.
5.
What was she doing at 1:30 in the afternoon?
She was having lunch.
6.
What was she doing at 3 o'clock?
She was visiting .com Enterprises.
7.
What was she doing at 6 o'clock?
She was writing a report on the plane.
8.
What was she doing at 8:30 in the evening?
She was putting the baby to bed.
9.
What was she doing at 10 o'clock?
She was relaxing and listening to music.
Tapes.
Okay, guys, so actually the questions are right in front of you, so you can look in at them, check your answers, okay? And of course, we listened. So, okay, so next is, you should read a statement from the left box and answer with the correct response from the right box. Not box, but actually column, but had you heard it before? So you should match, actually, you should match just to have the question and the answer, okay? Just a small dialogue, anyway. Okay, do it yourself. First of all, stop the video, work, and then we will check. Good, guys, so let's listen. Okay, I'm not sure about
Script
listening.
3.4. 1.
I didn't laugh at his joke.
Why? Have you heard it before?
2.
Were you surprised by the ending of the film? No. I'd read the book, so I already knew the story.
3. I went to the airport, but I couldn't get on the plane.
Why? Had you left your passport at home?
4.
I was homesick the whole time I was living in France.
That's really sad. Had you never lived abroad before?
5.
The hotel where we stayed on holiday was awful. That's a pity. Hadn't you stayed there before?
6. I met my girlfriend's parents for the first time last Sunday.
Really? I thought you'd met them before.
7.
My grandfather had 2 sons from his first marriage.
Really? I didn't know he'd been married before.
Tape script.
Good. So, guys, we've checked, and that's it for today. Все, ребят, на этом мы закончим наше сегодняшнее занятие. Вы большие молодцы, вы много сегодня прошли и взяли. Как вы понимаете, основная тематика, грамматический такой подтекст этого юнита – это повторение past perfect. Ну, собственно, всех прошедших времен, которые мы взяли, но упор очень большой делается все-таки на past perfect. И если вам сложно выполнять было, ну, хотя бы вот это, например, задание, да, и предыдущие, вы, например, сомневались, почему, то я очень вас прошу перейти обязательно в предыдущий уровень B1 и поискать там по названию видео Past Perfect. Вы сможете там поработать это в упражнениях, послушать мое объяснение. Если же вам просто нужно освежить в памяти, как это работает, то тогда посмотрите плейлист «Грамматика». Также на канале найдите по названию. Я всегда говорю, там плохое качество. Предупреждаю вас, кто впервые смотрит. Вот. Но материал хороший. Поэтому, пожалуйста, можете посмотреть эмоциональное объяснение этому времени, ну или поработать из уровня B1. Все, на сегодня с вами прощаюсь. Продолжим на следующем уроке. Пока!